UFC Fight Night Holloway vs Allen takes place this Saturday in Kansas City. I will go over the entire card, giving my prediction for every fight on the card, so let's get right into it. First fight of the night is Joselyne Edwards vs Lucie Pudilova. Tough fight to call, but I'm going Pudilova winning this one. However, if someone gets a finish in this fight, it would be Edwards, but Pudilova doesn't really get finished. So I see Edwards looking good for a round, trying to get the finish, not getting it, and Pudilova taking it back, getting herself a 29-28 decision to start the night. Next up on the card is Gaston Baloños vs Aaron Phillips. I'm picking Baloños to beat Phillips by decision, 30-27. I think this will be a stand-up fight, and Baloños, who I think is the better striker, will put up a dominant performance against Aaron Phillips. Moving on to the next fight, Bruna Brasil vs Denise Gomes. I've got Bruna Brasil by knockout in the second round. Not only is Bruna Brasil the better striker, but Gomes gets hurt in her fights. And I think Bruna Brasil will have the fight IQ not to allow Gomes to recover and put her away. Next up, Lando Vannata vs Daniel Zellhuber. I'm picking Zellhuber to win this fight by decision, 30-27. I know Zellhuber lost his UFC debut against Trey Ogden, but I think for this fight, with the UFC jitters out of the way, he should be able to win using his jab against the shorter, older and slower Lando Vannata. Next up on the card, Piera Rodriguez vs Gillian Robertson. I'm picking Robertson by submission in the second round. Rodriguez just hasn't been able to amaze me yet, and Gillian, however, is coming off a big first round submission over Rose Namajunas in a Fury grappling match in which he tapped her out in a pressing fashion just over a minute. So I believe momentum and confidence sides with Robertson for this matchup. Next up, Herman vs Zak Cummings. I'm going with Zak Cummings by TKO in the third round. These are both older guys, but Cummings has looked better in his last couple of fights compared to Herman, hence why I pick him to win. Moving on, Brandon Royval vs Matheus Nicolau. I'm picking Nicolau to get it done by decision, 29-28. This is a very close fight, and Royval is a very good fighter, but I think Nicolau is slightly better everywhere and a bit more technical, so I'm expecting him to get it done. And to end the prelims, we've got TJ Brown vs Bill Algeo. I'm taking Algeo by TKO in the second round. Bill Algeo is a very good fighter. He beat Joanderson Brito and Herbert Burns. Brown is coming off a third round submission over Eric Silva, who is not a good fighter, but it still took Brown 3 rounds to get him out, so I'm picking Algeo. Those were the prelims, now on to the main card. First fight of the main card is Clay Guida vs Rafa Garcia. I'm picking Rafa Garcia to beat Guida by third round rear naked choke. Guida is getting older, he is slowing down and not looking too great against lesser fighters, but Garcia is younger and has been improving in between fights. I gotta go Garcia this one. Next on the main card, Pedro Munhoz vs Chris Gutierrez. This one is a 50-50. Munhoz is a tough fight for anyone in the division, and Gutierrez is a beast on the feet. However, I am going with Pedro Munhoz. I think these two will start the fight scrapping on the feet, and I can see Gutierrez shoot for a takedown to mix it up and get caught in a guillotine in the first. So I'm going Munhoz first round submission. Moving on. Ion Cutelaba vs Tanner Boser. I'm picking Boser by first round knockout. Boser has heavy hands. Cutelaba has been a bit chinny in his last fights. I think this is gonna be a quick one. Moving on to the next fight on the main card. Dustin Jacoby vs Azamat Murzakanov. I am taking Jacoby to beat Murzakanov by decision, 30-27. Jacoby is a lot taller and has a lot more range than Murzakanov. Plus Jacoby is a very technical striker, and I believe he is going to put it on display against the undefeated Russian. Up next, the co-main event, Edson Barboza vs Billy Quarantillo. This fight is a 50-50. I can see Quarantillo KOing Barboza, but I'm leaning Barboza winning this fight, and only because Quarantillo does tend to get hit a lot in the first round. I think this is where Barboza is going to invest into the body and set him up for a TKO finish in the third. And finally, to close the night, Max Holloway vs Arnold Allen, the main event. I am picking Holloway by TKO in the fourth round. Allen has shown a lot of potential, but also that his blitzes take a lot out of his gas tank. I think Allen is going to look good in the first couple of rounds, but I think he will get tired, and I think Holloway will overwhelm an exhausted Ellen in the later rounds. And those are my predictions for this Saturday's card. Who do y'all got? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content, and thank you all for watching.